Hi, my name is Jamie. I live in Saudi Arabia and I have a makeup collection that just keeps getting larger. However, not today. I was a good girl today. And what I wanted to do for you today was give you a dedicated video detailing a bigger, bolder look with a palette that I purchased recently, and that is the Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty. So I know this palette is older. I don't remember even what season it was released during. I want to say it's at least a year old, but I just recently purchased it in the month of October, and I wanted to get it out, stretch it out, see what I can do with it. I'm also going to do a voiceover because it won't take long. And I'm kind of just chilling, watching some YouTube, and yeah, let's have a good relaxing time. I'll be kind of going through the palette and showing you what shades I'm using and pointing them out and putting them on my eyeballs. So if that interests you, please feel free to stick around. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and let's get into it. All right, so first and foremost, I'll be dipping into the darkest shade in the palette, Mantra. And I'm just gonna be placing that on the outer corners of my eyes. As usual, no big deal. I think one of the general criticisms of all Huda Beauty palettes is that they don't actually tend to go deep enough, and I sort of stand by this. Even though this shade is nice and gray, purple leaning, it doesn't quite go deep enough, and it sort of tends to blend away. It's nice to work with, but it really just doesn't take the gravity of the look to a place where it's very dark. All right, next I'm going to be dipping into the shade Happiness, which is just kind of a pink matte shade. And again, sort of all of these shadows tend to be more gray leaning. I do think that it helped blend out that first shade, Mantra, and it works really nice. It doesn't have like a very vibrant pop of pink, which I was kind of expecting, to be honest. And then I'll be using a very light matte shade of pink to blend out that edge, especially the one on my right eye left by Happiness. It worked really nicely to just blend all of those edges out, make the look more cohesive and smooth. Just some casual cut crease action because it is forever 2018 in this house. And I'm going to be using this Peau de Creme liquid eyeshadow from Kimchi Chic. This is in the shade Cashmere, just to use as a goldish liner. It worked fine. It turned out nice. So this is where we're at so far. And then I'm also going to go into my Beauty Bay Pastels palette, and I'm going to put a very pastel yellow on that inner corner of my eye, just for some contrast and something a little bit different. So you'll have to forgive me for the next part because I forgot to show you which shade I was using, but I went into Self Love, which is a marble shade, like a marble shimmer shade in the bottom right-hand corner of the palette. And I'm just starting to put those shimmers down in my inner corner. I did have to end up spraying my brush, which you also missed, which is what I'm looking for here. Yep, spray. Doing something. Yep. Yeah, I'm spraying, definitely. There you go. And then I remembered I should probably show you that I had gone into Self Love, and then I went in next to Blissful and kind of placed that over my lid. It worked fine. Again, I think with this shade, I can't remember if I sprayed my brush. I don't think I did. It's one of those very foiled shadows that Huda typically includes in her palettes. I think Huda Beauty was kind of one of the first brands to actually do that really foiled formula. This actually took a much longer time than I thought because I needed to eat some vegan shawarma and have a drink, evidently. Then I just kind of used my finger and patted Love Stone, that kind of jelly shade, over the shimmers just to sort of marry them together and add a bit of extra gloss on top. Kind of hard to see, but I used that darker purple shade Empowered in the outer third just to kind of blend the shimmers into the darkest matte on the outside. Then, since I kind of felt it was fading away, I went back into Mantra and just tried to deepen up the whole look one more time. And then you'll see in a second how I straight up almost just drop my whole palette. No big deal. I'm gonna break off now, probably finish the rest of my makeup, do a little touching up here and there, and when we come back, you'll see the finished entire look. So, hang on one moment. All right, so this is the finished look. This is where we landed. This is where we are. I'm not mad about it. I think it's really pretty. It's pretty. I feel like a little cupcakey, just a little bit. Yeah, it's good. The palette performed okay. I actually kind of prefer, in a way, my Mercury retrograde palette to this palette because it does have a bit more of a to it. The colors in the Mercury retrograde palette are a bit more vibrant. You can kind of take it a few different directions and it turns out a bit different. That said, you know, these shimmers are really pretty. It's not that they aren't. It's just, you know, it's a little bit cute. It's cute. My goal was to kind of try to do something a bit more intense, and it's come off a little bit like and that's okay too sometimes. Yeah, I'm not mad. It's gonna turn out, it's gonna look pretty, it's gonna wear well. I think it looks fine. I derived some inspiration for this look from Makeup by Missa. I can't remember what palette she used in order to do the look that she did that was like somewhat this shape, and I definitely got the idea for the yellow to pink to purple, so that's kind of the foundation of that. But this palette is not the same at all as the palette that she used. The look she did had a lot of depth and intensity, and this is just sweet. So anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know if you would like for me to get this palette out again and see if there's anything else I can suck from it, basically, and I'll see you next time.